Today, we're diving into the first official details of Black Ops 7 Zombies and its gameplay. It's fresh off the main Black Ops 7 reveal. Last week, I was invited to Treyarch Studios to not only see, but play Black Ops 7 Zombies. I have all the exclusive intel you need on gameplay details, maps, characters, and so much more. So let's jump straight into the details, but to make sure you don't miss a single Zombies video in the future, consider subscribing. I flew 20 hours just to get you this information. Jumping straight into things, we know that at the end of the Black Ops 6 Zombies map Reckoning, we got swept into the Dark Aether with our Black Ops 6 crew. What it means for Treyarch and the locations that we can go this year is that we're apparently going to go to some of the coolest locations we've ever been to in Zombies. Experience things we have never experienced before. One of the three big talking points for Zombies today is the new version of the original crew. In the Reckoning ending, it was revealed we are now face to face with a new version of our iconic crew from the foundation of Zombies itself. Treyarch want to make explicitly clear that this is a third iteration of these characters, and that the versions we're seeing of Richtofen, Takeo, Nikolai, and Dempsey is a third iteration of this crew. Everything that happened before with these characters still happen, and everything is still completely canon. Their stories have been told, but we are now in the Dark Aether timeline, and this is the Dark Aether original crew. And on purpose, Treyarch is not actually going to tell us much about them to start with, but they do mention that we know a lot about the Black Ops 6 crew at this point, and they are going to act as their window and a connection point to learn more about this iteration of these characters. Questions like why are they important and why are they in here with us is a question that's going to be answered throughout the year. And whilst details are scarce, we do have one screenshot that shows our 4 new characters where we get new details. The most intriguing detail is the fact that Richtofen is wearing a Group 935 patch on his left arm, which up until this point, Group 935 has not been referenced whatsoever in the Dark Aether story. Another detail to point out on Richtofen's jacket is this medal right here, which is the Iron Cross. If it wasn't already obvious based on his cap and outfit, it seems this version of Richtofen is part of the German military. This medal was usually awarded for bravery and service in combat, regardless of your rank. Higher grades of the cross, like the Knight's Cross and Grand Cross, were awarded for exceptional acts of bravery and leadership. There is clearly a rich backstory to this version of Richtofen and his involvement in the German army, directly tied to World War II, but we're just going to have to see exactly how. We also get new details here on Tank Dempsey, where we can see he has a really cool arm sleeve tattoo on his left and right arms, which you previously didn't have. You can see a much clearer look at the emblem on Takeo's chest, which seems to resemble some sort of dragon. Nikolai just looks a lot like Primus Nikolai here, but all 4 of them have a very strange eye color, which doesn't seem to be natural. You can also see in their faces that they are quite veiny, like there's a lot of purple veins which seem visible, which could be due to their excessive amount of time in the Dark Aether. We'll just have to wait and see. What is really cool is there is now 8 dedicated Zombies operators, so 2 crews playable, meaning you can play as any combination of these characters, being the 4 original Dark Aether characters, the 4 Black Ops 6 characters, or a combination of both. All characters will interact with each other, have completely unique interaction lines, and they're going to go through this story together. In a very similar way to Black Ops 4's Alpha Omega map, where there were 8 playable characters between 4 Primus and 4 Ultimus. The next big talking point is on the Zombies map itself. Black Ops 7 is going to launch with one Zombies map, but it is the biggest round-based map ever. For Treyarch, it's not just about size of map that is important, but it's the intent on what you do with that space. And with Black Ops 7 as a whole, they've expressed that it's very much a sequel to Black Ops 2. It doesn't quite work that way for Zombies for the Dark Aether storyline, but they absolutely looked at Tranzit from Black Ops 2 as an inspiration and an opportunity to take that experience and make a lot of cool things to take it to the next level. So it is heavily Tranzit inspired, but it isn't actually the Tranzit map remastered. It in fact sounds like a map like Revelations, but is then placed into a Tranzit-esque style layout. And to Treyarch, they can't think of a better map that really expresses the Dark Aether and the experiences we're going to be having this year than with this map. And they describe it as essentially a Bermuda Triangle, featuring unique locations out of various locations and time periods, each area having its own unique story, essentially meaning that every area of the map has been plucked from a different time period and is a completely unique location between each area. We were all presented this, and there was actually a map screen that showed the overall layout, and whilst I can't remember it picture accurate, here is an image on screen that depicts, to the best of my ability, what the overall map looked like. Map in total had 6 unique locations, and the only location that was explicitly shown to us was an area called Farm. From the one screenshot we've been given that shows the characters stood in the farm area, we can see that this is very heavily inspired by the farm from Tranzit. You have the left building, which looks very similar to the original. Then you have that middle house where you would find the mystery box location upstairs on the balcony. You can also see that the sky is, of course, that purple ethereal dark ether that will be present throughout the entire map. An overview of the map seems that we'll be starting in Area 1, which is on the far right of the map. Then Areas 2 and 3 were above and below each other, which both connected to Area 4, which is the main middle part of the map. Then we had Area 5 up to the top left and Area 6 to the bottom left. Whilst Farm was the only one visible to us, it seemed likely that one of the other areas was Diner. In another slide talking about progression in Black Ops 7, we could see a Diner themed calling card spotted, adding more credence to the fact that Diner is likely to be one of the other areas on this map. On top of just the 6 areas, there's also transition spaces, the roads in between each area, and those are going to have fog. But what's interesting about these is that they're going to be living outside the rules of round base. So when you're in these places, they're very deadly and there's a pressure there where you don't want to be there for very long, and you're absolutely going to want to go through here because there's going to be secrets to discover along these roads, but they're not a place that you want to be for a very long time. Each road also is full of personality, with each path different and showcases different elements and time periods as well. With this all being Transit inspired, you of course would think of the bus, but the bus is not returning because instead we will be driving a vehicle known as a wander vehicle. We got to see one screenshot of this and it is not a bus by any means. It seems to be more like a big 4x4, but was very heavily Mad Max themed. Bonnet featured 3 abomination heads. It also had a mountable turret on the top of the roof, which was a Wonderwaffe DG2. Treyarch described that you're going to need the Wander vehicle to navigate and get through this giant launch map. What really excited the Zombies team is bringing back the idea of needing to stick together as a team a bit more, and they think Transit did a great job of that. Where you have the bus, you all needed to make the decision initially on the map to go together on the bus in order to survive, and they want to bring more weight to that matter on the decision when you're playing through this map. So especially early on, you'll be able to unlock different ways to move around the map, but it's really important to use that vehicle, decide where you're going as a team, and move to the next destination. Because this map is so big, just like Transit, Treyarch are also bringing another returning thing from Black Ops 2, which is the concept of survival maps. The idea here to take smaller locations from the launch map and make them standalone maps. Treyarch recognized that one of the most successful parts of Black Ops 6 was Liberty Falls, with how accessible it is, where you have everything you need to survive, and that was really an inspiration for them to bring back survival maps, and thought it was a nice complement to this very large, vast map. And what's cool is that they're able to take the features available in the standard maps that maybe take quite a while to access to, so you're easily able to play those areas in case you don't have the skill or time to get to those places. In these survival maps, everything you need to get to high rounds is already there from the get-go, with no main quest enabled. It is solely about surviving, and they're going to be releasing survival maps through the seasons as well. To clear up any confusion on the launch of Black Ops 7 Zombies, we're going to have the main launch round-based map as well as the farm survival map. As the seasons go on, more survival maps from the launch map will be added to the game, and it's assumed that further DLC maps will also have their own survival maps as well. When it comes to carry forward for Black Ops 7 Zombies, it's confirmed that Gobblegums will carry over through to Black Ops 7 on day 1. So all of the current Gobblegums we have in the game will be available on day 1. It sounds like all of the Black Ops 6 weapons will also be carrying forward, but that will be post-launch during Season 1. Another massive thing that Treyarch have confirmed for Black Ops 7 Zombies is that every Zombies map will be getting a fully CGI intro cutscene. I understand that people were very disappointed that Black Ops 6 didn't have a full year of CGI cutscenes like it should, but they said that yes, they 100% are going to have CGI cutscenes for the game, and that they will be expanding upon the mid and end game cutscenes that they offered in Black Ops 6. At Treyarch, we got to have a Q&A based on the presentation that we saw. Whilst Treyarch are keeping very tight-lipped on Zombies beyond what we spoke about today, we did manage to get a few Zombies questions out of them, one being the fundamental differences in gameplay between Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7 Zombies, and they said that there is some significant under-the-hood changes that they've made to Black Ops 7 Zombies, but they just can't talk about it right now, and they emphasized that in early September, there is going to be a massive marketing window window for zombies. We're going to be getting a ton of teasers and marketing that's going to give us a ton of build up and more context and knowledge on zombies itself, including the name of the launch map, any potential new perks, new Gobblegums, big fundamental changes to zombies. But at least from what we got to see of the very few seconds of atmospheric gameplay showing off next level GPU particles and vector fields, we're really able to play with the fog that we'll interact with. And they said they've leveled up with the volumetric fog, adding another layer of movement, ambient movement with light layers of noise, giving it gritty atmosphere and claustrophobic feeling to get you really immersed in the environment. They also wanted fluid simulation with the fog. They wanted to feel like you were interacting with it, and not only you, the players, but also the zombies interacting, the gameplay, the explosions, and they're just going to keep pushing and pushing. Get all of those details to look as good as physically possible. I'll touch upon this a lot more in a video going over everything revealed today, but there are some significant gameplay movement changes that will be across all modes where tac sprint is no longer in the game. There are also next level omni movement mechanics, such as being able to wall jump for traversal and engagement opportunities, and as far as I'm aware, this will also be the case in zombies. You'll also be able to mount weapons onto surfaces and move whilst mounted, going along the actual mounted surface from left to right. That is absolutely everything that we know so far, solely dedicated to Black Ops 7 Zombies gameplay. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. If you want to see a full video going over full campaign and multiplayer details as I got to see and play the multiplayer as well, then there will be a video on your screen right now that you can click through to watch that massive info dump. And to not miss any more exclusive videos like this, then just hit that subscribe button.